Hello, everyone. How are you all doing? I hope you had a lovely day or you're having a lovely day. I had a lovely day. My name is Leah. I'm currently coming to you live from Alberta, Canada. I just wanted to have a quick um, chit chat with you to have our digital business discussion. So, for today's topic, I chose to talk about three rules about pain and pleasure that guide everything we do. You know, pain is something that is inevitable in life. We always go through pain, whether we like it or not. And so, without knowing, a lot of people don't realize most of the decisions they make come out of pain or pleasure. So, the first rule we're going to talk about is all decisions made by human beings are to avoid pain or to gain pleasure. For instance, when you wake up in the morning, head to the gym, or the countless time that you spend on the mirror doing makeup, those are some of the things that you do out of pleasure, you know. Sometimes you're scared that your health is deteriorating, and so you'd go to the gym with this in mind. You want to avoid this pain of suffering physically, and so you go to the gym in order to keep fit. You know, you want to avoid to be criticized by the way you look because that would cause pain, and so you decide to put on makeup. So that's how people make their decision. Those are just a few examples um, why we make our decision. And the interesting part is that in as much as we make decisions to avoid pain or to gain pleasure, most of the time though, we do make our decision to avoid pain than to gain pleasure. So I found that to be very, very interesting. People will do so much more to avoid pain than they would to gain pleasure. So from my personal experience, I know there was a time that I didn't have a lot of funds. And so the fear of being homeless or not being able to afford things that are basic in life pushed me to start a business. You know, I wasn't scared to start the business, but I knew the pain that I'll go through not starting the business was greater than the pain that I will go through doing the business. And so I went ahead and I started my business. And even studies have shown that people who do people do much more to avoid short-term pain than they'll do to get um, long-term gain. And so if you want to avoid short-term pain in order to gain something, you'll end up gaining for a very short time. And so the longer people go through pain for a greater purpose, they end up achieving a substantial amount of success and pleasure. It's not always that case, but if you look at most of the successful people, some of them come from very, very disadvantaged backgrounds. But guess what? They didn't let their past define their future. They used that to create a better life for them, for their families. And so we always look up to these successful people and are inspired by their stories. And so the other thing also, in as much as we do tend towards the pain in order to make most of our decisions, perception is reality. What do I mean by this? Sometimes you might feel that something is painful or something is pleasurable, but then it varies from person to person. You might think what you're doing is going to cause you so much pain or little pain, but then to someone else, it's pleasure. So it's all about our perception. It's this perception of future pain or pleasure that drives our action. Sometimes we don't know what the future holds, but our perception about the future will help us decide which direction to take. If you perceive the decision that you're about to make is going to cause you so much pain, you'd avoid it. But if you see that it's going to cause you pleasure in the future, you'd pursue it. And the unfortunate thing is that sometimes we can't even tell how much pain or pleasure it will give us. And so we look at people who have already gone through those situations, those challenges, those experiences, and it helps us decide whether we want to go through the same path. And like entrepreneurship, it's not always easy, and it's not for everyone. But for those who do venture into entrepreneurship, they come to learn that there's so much pain in between. But if they keep their eyes glued to the prize, which is to succeed, they end up reaching their goal irrespective of how much pain they went through. And so those are the few things that I wanted to talk about. And in relation to the business that I am doing, I know people are employed and they are comfortable in their employment, but sad thing to say is that not everyone who's employed is enjoying their jobs. As an employer, I know I wouldn't want my employees to come to work and they're dissatisfied. It creates a negative environment for other employees, and such employees end up doing the bare minimum. And the unfortunate thing is that when it comes to downsizing, they'll be the first ones to go. And what was the cause? What was the root of these employees not being satisfied? Sometimes it's because of the management, or sometimes it's just the employee by themselves. They're probably doing a job that they don't like, they don't love. They just have to do it in order to make ends meet. It will be painful for them not to be employed, but it will be they can bear the pain of doing something they don't want. So the greater pain is not being employed, but the lesser pain is doing what they don't want to do. And so that's why I'm presenting this opportunity for such people, and not only those people who are not satisfied with their jobs, other people who feel like they would need to spend even more time outside their job, but because they're working full time, they can't spend more time outside their job in as much as they love their work. With the business that I'm doing, you can let it run in the background using the automated tools that we have, and it frees up your time so you can do other things that you love. And so when a system is working 24/7 in the background, it's generating you leads, it's closing sales for you because we don't do any selling. And when it generates sales for you, you know what that means. With high ticket products, you get your commissions. You make your income. And so you can just spend a few minutes here and there in between your day and get your business up and running. So this business has a huge potential. What if I told you you could earn as much as you could possibly earn as a doctor or a lawyer or engineer through this business? That's the potential of this business. We do have people in our community, like I said, people who the society would probably label them as failures, or they are doomed to not succeed in life because of probably their educational background, lack of it, or the type of educational background they do have, or work experience. They saw this opportunity, and such people probably they're doing minimum wage jobs. Running from one minimum wage job to another in order to make ends meet, because they can get a higher paying job because of their education and their qualification. But they realize their family is important. They need to spend more time, and their health too, because you can only do so much for a certain period of time. And so they found this opportunity. They did their best in it. And right now, they are making a huge income that they never even thought possible. For myself, I did start this business because of my family, because of the potential it has. I see a brighter future for my family and my kids in future. And the best part of it is that I can pass it down to my children. I can leave a legacy with it. What are you doing with your life? You're employed, yes. It's comfortable. It's satisfying to follow the routines. Wake up in the morning, do your job, come back home, watch Netflix or whatever, go back to your work the following day. Is this the kind of life you want to live? For how long? You know, I'm inspired with people who are working full time in my community, and as soon as they get home, they work on their business. They're doing very well. Anyone can do this business. The system is proved, it's legitimate, it's registered, the business model has been patented, and anyone can do it. And so it does require some investment, but if you think about it, if you want a car and you don't have cash, you still have to find a way of generating that revenue. But then you look at it this way: a vehicle can be bought, but it's a liability. It doesn't generate revenue for yourself. But if you invest in a business that has a high return, then that's a really good investment. I know some people have done that. And so it won't cost you anything to go to my website and take a look at the free webinar. And after that, start your business. Check it out for 30 days. It doesn't require so much of your time. All the information will be laid out to you to see how exactly this business runs and how it can work for you. You know. So the other thing that I wanted to mention is that there's a reason why I'm on your screen right now. You're watching me. You know, there are billions of people in this world, but then you are the one who's watching me. You are the one who ended up in my screen. Or some of you have texted me, have emailed me, you've watched the webinar, but you're still sitting. There's a reason why you emailed me or you texted me. So why not take a step ahead? You know, it's interesting that a lot of people, not even just few people, they came into my community, they watched the webinar, and then they said it's not for them. But guess what? Few weeks later, they came back and they wished they hadn't wasted all that time thinking about the business. They would have just started it immediately, because they realize this business is a tool, is a vehicle to a future that they've always wanted and dreamed. So it's your choice. It's your choice to decide if you're going to be driven by pain or pleasure. Pleasure of living a life that is not satisfying, or pain that you're not living a life that you do deserve. Here's an opportunity for you. Grab it. I'll be more than glad to help you out. And so that is all for me. I have like 1 minute. We do have a business mastermind that I need to attend for a business owner at no cost. So that's the beauty about this business too. We don't pay monthly, yearly fees. What we do is get high quality information from experts, learn about ways of succeeding, and it's just amazing. Don't just sit there. Check it out. You'll thank yourself later. Thank you so much. And I do hope you have a lovely day and all the best in your endeavors. And before I close, I leave you with a small verse here from the scriptures. Commit your works to the Lord and your thoughts will be established. You know, we may plan for ourselves, but God knows the end. And we have to present it to the Lord, and He will bless our works. Thank you so much, and God bless you.